In 1492, I set sail from Spain, looking for a westward route to Asia. Instead, I landed on islands in the Caribbean Sea. This voyage marked the beginning of European exploration of the Americas.
The world was a very different place in the 15th century. People knew little about the world beyond their own lands. Then, something remarkable happened. Explorers began to set sail, seeking new routes and new lands. This period, known as the Age of Exploration, dramatically reshaped our understanding of the world. Another important explorer was Vasco da Gama. He sailed around the southern tip of Africa in 1498. Da Gama reached India, establishing a sea route that connected Europe to Asia. This route facilitated trade and cultural exchange between the two continents. Ferdinand Magellan led an expedition that circumnavigated the globe. This incredible journey, completed in 1522, provided definitive proof that the Earth is round. These voyages of exploration expanded European knowledge and influence. They also led to significant consequences, both positive and negative, for the encountered civilizations. While explorers charted new territories, they were not just mapping new lands, but also opening up new avenues for trade, culture, and knowledge exchange. Europe experienced a cultural awakening known as the Renaissance, a period that saw a profound transformation in art, architecture, and intellectual thought. This rebirth of art, literature, and science had begun in the 14th century, drawing inspiration from the classical antiquity of Greece and Rome. However, it reached its peak in the 16th century, leaving a lasting impact on Western civilization that can still be felt today in various aspects of modern life. The Renaissance marked a renewed interest in classical Greek and Roman culture, which was seen as the pinnacle of human achievement and a model to emulate. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo created masterpieces that celebrated human form and emotion, pushing the boundaries of artistic expression and technique. Writers like William Shakespeare produced plays that explored the complexities of human nature, delving into themes of love, power, betrayal, and the human condition. Science also flourished during the Renaissance, as scholars began to question traditional beliefs and seek empirical evidence through observation and experimentation. Nicholas Copernicus challenged the long-held belief that the Earth was the center of the universe, a revolutionary idea that would change the course of astronomy. He proposed a heliocentric model, placing the Sun at the center of the solar system, which was a radical departure from the geocentric models that had dominated for centuries. This revolutionary idea laid the groundwork for future scientific discoveries, paving the way for astronomers like Galileo and Kepler to further our understanding of the cosmos. The invention of the printing press by Johannes Gutenberg in the mid-15th century was a game-changer, revolutionizing the way information was disseminated. This invention allowed for the mass production of books, making literature and scholarly works more accessible to a broader audience than ever before. As a result, knowledge and ideas spread more rapidly than ever before, fueling further advancements in science, philosophy, and the arts. The Renaissance's emphasis on humanism, reason, and observation laid the foundation for the scientific and intellectual revolutions to come, shaping the modern world in profound ways.
In 1517, I penned my famous 95 Theses. I criticized the Catholic Church's practices, especially the selling of indulgences. I argued that salvation could be attained through faith alone, and that the Bible was the ultimate source of religious authority.
The 16th century witnessed a significant religious upheaval in Europe, the Protestant Reformation. This movement challenged the authority of the Catholic Church and led to the emergence of Protestantism. It all began with Martin Luther, a German monk. Luther's ideas spread rapidly, thanks in part to the printing press. His followers, called Protestants, broke away from the Catholic Church. This led to the establishment of new Protestant denominations, including Lutheranism, Calvinism, and Anglicanism. The Protestant Reformation had far-reaching consequences. It sparked religious wars and political upheaval across Europe. It also led to the rise of nation-states as rulers chose sides in the religious conflict. The Reformation's emphasis on individual conscience and interpretation of Scripture had a lasting impact on religious freedom and the relationship between church and state. Section 4. A Universe Unveiled, the Scientific Revolution. This era marked a profound transformation in human understanding, where the mysteries of the universe began to be unraveled through systematic inquiry and empirical evidence. The 17th century ushered in an era of unprecedented scientific discovery, the Scientific Revolution. This period was characterized by a shift from reliance on ancient texts and philosophical speculation to a focus on observation, experimentation, and the scientific method. This period was marked by a new way of thinking about the world based on reason, observation, and experimentation. Scientists began to systematically record their observations and conduct experiments to test their hypotheses, leading to a more accurate understanding of natural phenomena. Scientists began to question established theories and sought to understand the natural world through empirical evidence. They engaged in rigorous debates and shared their findings through newly established scientific societies and journals, fostering a collaborative spirit of inquiry. One of the most influential figures of the scientific revolution was Galileo Galilei. His use of the telescope to observe celestial bodies challenged the prevailing geocentric model of the universe and provided strong support for the heliocentric theory proposed by Copernicus.
Using a telescope, I observed the heavens and made groundbreaking discoveries. My observations revealed that the moon had mountains and craters, and that Jupiter had moons orbiting it, which contradicted the Aristotelian view of a perfect, unchanging cosmos. I observed the moons of Jupiter, the phases of Venus, and craters on the moon, supporting the heliocentric model. These discoveries were revolutionary, as they provided concrete evidence that not all celestial bodies orbited the Earth.
Isaac Newton, another scientific giant, revolutionized physics and mathematics. His work synthesized the findings of his predecessors and introduced new concepts that would become the bedrock of classical mechanics. He formulated the laws of motion and universal gravitation, explaining the movement of objects both on Earth and in the cosmos. Newton's Principia Mathematica laid out these principles in a comprehensive framework that unified terrestrial and celestial mechanics. Newton's work laid the foundation for classical physics and shaped our understanding of the universe for centuries to come. His theories not only explained the motion of planets and falling objects, but also paved the way for future scientific advancements. Advances in other scientific fields, such as biology and chemistry, also flourished during this period. The development of new instruments and techniques allowed scientists to explore previously hidden aspects of the natural world. William Harvey described the circulation of blood, fundamentally changing the understanding of human physiology. Robert Hooke, using a microscope, discovered cells, opening up a new realm of biological study and laying the groundwork for cell theory. The scientific revolution transformed how knowledge was acquired and disseminated, paving the way for modern science. The establishment of scientific academies and the invention of the printing press facilitated the spread of new ideas, ensuring that scientific knowledge could be shared and built upon by future generations. Section 5. The Age of Reason. Enlightenment sweeps Europe. The 18th century was a time of great intellectual and philosophical ferment in Europe. This era saw the rise of new ideas and a shift in the way people thought about the world and their place in it. This period, known as the Enlightenment, emphasized reason, individualism, and human rights. It was a time when thinkers and philosophers began to question traditional authority and sought to understand the world through logic and empirical evidence. Enlightenment thinkers believed in the power of reason to understand the world and improve society. They argued that through rational thought, humanity could achieve progress and create a better future for all. John Locke, an influential Enlightenment philosopher, argued that all individuals possess natural rights to life, liberty, and property. His writings laid the groundwork for modern political philosophy and influenced many future leaders and thinkers. He believed that governments should derive their power from the consent of the governed. This idea was revolutionary at the time and challenged the traditional notion of divine right of kings. His ideas greatly influenced the American and French revolutions. These movements sought to overthrow oppressive regimes and establish governments based on Enlightenment principles. Another key figure was Voltaire, a French writer and philosopher. Voltaire was known for his wit and his criticism of the established church and state. He championed freedom of speech and religious tolerance. Voltaire believed that individuals should have the right to express their ideas freely, without fear of persecution. He criticized superstition and intolerance, advocating for a society based on reason and justice. His works inspired many to question traditional beliefs and seek a more rational and just society. The Enlightenment had a profound impact on political and social thought. It encouraged people to think critically about their governments and societies, and to strive for reforms that would promote equality and justice. It inspired revolutions and reforms across the globe. The ideas of the Enlightenment spread far beyond Europe, influencing movements for independence and democracy in the Americas, Asia, and Africa. It led to the abolition of slavery, the promotion of education, and the spread of democratic ideas. Enlightenment thinkers believed that education was key to progress, and that all individuals should have the opportunity to learn and grow. The principles of the Enlightenment continue to shape our world today, reminding us of the importance of reason, individual rights, and the pursuit of knowledge. Modern democracies, human rights movements, and educational systems all owe a debt to the Enlightenment thinkers who dared to challenge the status quo and envision a better future for humanity. Section 6. Machines and Might. The dawn of the Industrial Revolution. In the late 18th century, a new era dawned, the Industrial Revolution. This period witnessed a dramatic shift from handmade production to machine-based manufacturing. It began in Great Britain, where a confluence of factors, including abundant resources and technological innovation, fueled its rise. The invention of the steam engine by James Watt in 1776 revolutionized industry and transportation. Steam power replaced water and wind power, leading to the development of factories and the mass production of goods.
Textile production was one of the first industries to be transformed. The invention of the spinning jenny and the power loom mechanized the spinning and weaving of cloth, increasing efficiency and output. This led to the establishment of large factories, employing hundreds of workers.
The Industrial Revolution marked a significant turning point in history. It changed the way goods were produced, the nature of work, and the structure of society. The innovations and advancements of this period laid the groundwork for the modern industrialized world.